Okay, top of the morning, top of the evening, top of the night. Hello, everybody. I am back. Apologies for the last stream. Zoom just did an update and it kicked me out. Um, I didn't end the stream like it said it did. It actually booted me out. But again, I just updated Zoom right before I came on. Of the morning, top of the evening, top. And so I know oftentimes, okay, let me, let me get this. Let me shut this one down. Hey, honeybee. Yeah, Zoom kicked me out. I was doing an update and I got kicked out. Uh, a lot of times when you're updating, you have to restart your electronic device before the software update actually is fully in effect. And I just updated Zoom before I got on and it kicked me. I guess they finished the update and kicked me out at the same time. But let's remember this. If we can look up, we can get up. If we can get up, we can go up. And I want to start right here by saying everything leaves a digital fingerprint. If you've learned nothing here the last few years, one thing that you have learned is every electronic device, every peripheral, every node that's connected to a network leaves leaves a digital fingerprint, even if it's not connected to a network. Every electronic device, including printers, leaves digital fingerprints. Now, I'm saying all that to say this, okay? Okay, so let me go through and just brush up. A network is an interconnection of networks, right? Networks interconnected, different networks interconnected, okay? We have lanes, local area networks, the foundation of mains, metropolis area networks, which are the foundation of what? WANs, wide area networks, right? So networks, interconnection of networks, right? So what? We can be on the internet to access data, information. Now, again, when we are on the line, everything leaves a digital fingerprint. Remember, what's being transmitted at all times when we are on the internet? Data. There's never a time when we are online that data is not being transmitted. Okay, so we got that. All right, whatever um, method that you're using, be it coaxial cable, be it fiber optics, data is always being transmitted, okay, throughout those devices. All right, whatever your point of access is. All right, there's never a time. Okay, so now we're getting that out of the way. All right, so let's get here. And this is that Rico case involving, okay, Chicago Tribune did an article. And so we all know the way I feel about, oh, it's getting ready to storm here too. We just got a lot going on. Chicago Tribune, all right? And I'm not fast pacing it. And the reason I feel a certain way about news outlets is when they don't do thorough, in-depth investigative journalism to bring back concrete information and facts, then I have an issue. And the way I feel about Chicago Tribune is they had the opportunity during the Kenneka Jenkins case to, and I'm going to get to it in a minute. They had the opportunity during the Kenneka Jenkins case. Let me pull up another web browser to answer some questions for me when I got to the ground in Rosemont, Illinois, pertaining to authenticated copies of original hard drives. And he was honest and said he couldn't answer because when I got there, usually news media is the one asking questions. Well, I began to ask some questions because this is a extremely detailed field. And when you are dealing with electronic information slash data slash evidence is a certain way it needs to be collected, maintained, and handled. So you have to retrieve it appropriately. You have to handle it appropriately. You have to store it appropriately. And you have to have a detailed documented chain of custody. Now, I didn't see that prior to it getting to the police hands. Not only that, I didn't see a data policy. I didn't see a maintenance policy from the hotel that turned over this vital electronic information to the police department. Okay, so we know that's my little history with Chicago Tribune and saying what I'm saying about them. And this information comes from Chicago Tribune. As it pertains to this Rico case, which involves Robert Sylvester Kelly and a YouTuber. So let me pull that up. But this, I want to talk about it from a digital perspective, because what you see here is a ex officer being involved in so many different things as this pertains to this case, from privacy violations to I'm wondering if they're going to get her for illegally obtaining documents, which is theft. So it's a host of things, and it involves a YouTuber by the name, who goes by the YouTube name of Tasha K. So we're gonna get there. Okay, Mr. Maxwell. Okay, Gmail, come on up. What is the problem? It is taking forever for my because I want to read directly from the article. You know how I feel about not showing visuals. So, and just read. We all know the way I feel about that. That I will do it, but I don't like it. I like people to be able to read along. But for those of you who want to read along, it's the Chicago Tribune article. If Google don't come on up, come on. And so again, I am saying all of this to say everything leaves a digital fingerprints. And so I admonish everyone, don't play games online. Don't post anything online that you don't stand behind, because nothing is deleted from offline. And I know they say, well, it's deleted, it's gone forever, but hold on a minute. Now, this is my field, right? Information technology, it's a science, right? Well, even while I am here doing this live stream, right? There are snapshots being taken. See, because things have to be backed up. You have to back up the data should something happen. And you need to restore an incident response plan. So every step of the way, whatever Google distribution backup plan is, and I'll have to see what their updated backup plan is. The way that they back up their data is by taking snapshots every step of the way. So if you're taking snapshots every step of the way, so people can easily get back to a restoration should something happen to their website, to their internet or their network system, let me say network system, their systems, their data warehouses, they have to be able to get back to that information, right? So you always back your data up when you are a high-tech company. And then one of the ways Google backs their data up is by taking snapshots of all of their data. And it gets archived. So we're not going to see people get on here and they say things and they have preconceived notions. And I know companies will say whatever, but no, I know otherwise. So let's get to this article. And it is really, I'm not going to say it's really unfortunate, but when you're online, you just need to be careful. That's why I say when I post stuff, I stand behind exactly whatever I said. If I said it, I know they can always retrieve it, bring it back up. Did you say this? Yes, I did. You want to get some clarification on why I said it. Like I said, I have no problem getting clarity or clearing up anything that I'm saying with people. I have done it in court with judges, attorneys, whoever, whatever. I just, you're just not going to put words in my mouth. And a few years back, I remember mentioning when I was in court and this judge was like, well, is that what you said? And I said, no, that's not what I said. This is what I said, and this is what I mean. So when we are, as a people, are posting things online, you better be able to stand behind what you're saying and do not ever be deceived and think that they cannot pull it up. I don't care if they told you this was permanently deleted. I can care less about that because I can prove otherwise. Okay. So let's get off into Tasha K being now pulled into this Rico case involving Robert Sylvester Kelly. And Rico cases, I think people need to realize that Rico cases are huge cases. Okay, racketeering, influence. What is it? Racketeering, influence, criminal acts, and organization. Yeah, racketeering, influence, criminal organization. Rico. Yeah. So Chicago Tribune, and I went all around the Chicago Tribune talking about them because I didn't like the way that they reported on Kenneka Jenkins. And when I hit the ground, I did have a host of questions for them as it pertains to the electronic data, how it was obtained, what did they have, when did they have it, what did they know? Do you have authenticated copies or not? Did they get a bit by bit copy or not? So let me see. And I don't want to, I'm not going to pay for a Chicago Tribune copy. They can forget about it if they think I'm going to pay to read this online. Forget about it. All right. Get this advertisement up off here. All right, let me get this advertisement up off my screen. Okay. So, and again, I need people to realize that this is a major case. And let me do the share on this now that I have it pulled up. Again, I will not be paying for to read the Chicago Tribune online. That's out of order. Okay. I believe in net neutrality and free and open internet, which entails a host of things. All right. So here it is. Okay, I can see it. Let me make sure you all can see it. Oh, there it is. Okay, very good. Maybe I need to zoom in a bit more. Yeah. All right, there we go. Okay, so R&B superstar, they're talking about Robert Sylvester Kelly had been locked up. Chicago federal jailhouse for 4 months when popular YouTube personality touted an inside scoop on the singer tumultuous relationship with allegedly two girlfriends. And I'm going to say allegedly, alleged girlfriends. And this is the way that they should have written this up, because when it's all said and done, I looked at his attorneys now. And I went and did some research on a law firm. Panic, don't panic. Those African American men, and I'm gonna have a discussion about that too, who are representing him are Johnny Cochran and F. Lee Bailey, and them on the stand. And if you know about cases that have been covered in the past, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They make them come with the evidence. Not only do you need to come with evidence, you handle the cross-examinations. Now, that's what the news media hasn't been reporting. They haven't been reporting the defense side, which in part is a team of intelligent Black males, which I think is very biased. Not only that, it's a little derogatory in terms of the work ethic and the intelligence of those Black men. So, no, Chicago Tribune, what all that? Okay, let me move on before they see. Chicago Tribune is coming unresponsive. Let's wait. Wait. Before they kick me off, make me pay. All right, so let me get to it. Going back to this. Okay, so Kelly allegedly had two girlfriends he allegedly had a friend bring $1,500 in cash to the Trump Towers to help pay bills. Blogger Tasha K, and they got her name on there, said in an exclusive video post on her YouTube channel, November 2019. URL, Uniform Resource Locator. That's one of the ways you can be tracked back. That's one of the ways your information can be tracked back. All right. So one of them, Johnson said, okay, Johnson Savage, whatever. Let's get down to what happened. Okay, enough with all that. Okay, so yeah, there was a phone tapped somewhere, and I'm not going to tell you where it's at. Now, this is what Tasha K told her viewers. I don't watch her. I didn't watch this, so I don't know what she said, but this is what's being reported. And according to people who have watched her and do watch her, they said the videos are still up. Even if she removed them, it does not make a difference. Once they do a letter to hold to YouTube, get a warrant, and go in and correctly retrieve that data, the electronic information from her channel. Does not matter if she attempts to put it on private or delete. When you're dealing with electronic data, from my side, we know warrant is vital. The way you collect, store it, and maintain is vital. Chain of custody is vital. So it doesn't matter if she tries to do whatever. You can always get back to that data. Always. All right. So this is what she told her viewers. It was 328,000 views. I have the plug. I'm not going to tell you where I got this information from, but just listen to the blank information. And we know I don't use profanity over here, so you fill in the blanks. Okay. Okay. So now it appears that federal investigators allegedly know exactly how Tasha K was plugged in. And this is why I go back to saying everything leaves a digital fingerprint. And I don't know why YouTube is not, my electronic device is not showing me the chat in real time. If you are in the bottom of the chat, Hello, I cannot see it. Um, hey, everybody, I can't see it from that device. I'll pull it up from another one. But let me continue to read. All right. A federal search warrant recently unsealed in Chicago shows that agents seized a laptop from a U.S. Bureau of Prisons officer who was suspected of illegally accessing Kelly's recorded phone calls, data privacy violation, illegally obtaining information. Like, people don't know how vital warrants are. Okay, so you got eavesdropping here. So this former officer or prison officer got recorded phone calls, recorded R. Kelly phone calls, got emails, got his visitor logs, and other restricted information during his stay at the Metropolitan Correctional Center on East Van Buren Street. So they can get this person for a host of things, but let me read on. A female officer, oh, and it's a woman, who at that time worked as a disciplinary hearing officer at a federal prison in Wisconsin, accessed Kelly records more than 150 times. In a 6-month period in 2019, even though the officer was not assigned to the MCC and had no official reason to be looking them up, according to the 24-page document obtained by the Tribune. Let me say it again. Everything leaves a digital fingerprint. Even when you are printing on a printer, we can go back in there and retrieve the data. Everything leaves a digital fingerprint. You already know you could be, oh, no, they didn't pop up with it. Let me exit out of this advertisement. You already know they can tap your stuff over the phone. Why would you do this in a prison? Everything in prison is recorded anyway. That's why in the past, when I call prisons and I've spoken to wardens, I be going off. They'd be like, dang. Be like, I know this is recorded anyway, but did y'all X, Y, and Z? What are y'all doing up there to the prisoners? This is my name. What y'all doing up in there? Did you do this, this, and this? Why? Okay, let me finish reading. Let me finish. This right here is, this is nonsense. Okay, let me finish. The officer, identified only as Officer A, also emailed herself a 12-page scan of R. Kelly jail records, according to an affidavit from an investigator with the U.S. Justice Department Inspector General. Now, this stands to reason what's going ready to happen with these cases. Because, all right, the officer retired December 2019. Oh, you retired, huh? Whether you retired or not, everything left a digital fingerprint. And why would you do this anyway? And you know they recorded everything inside prisons. This right here makes no sense. This is nonsense. This really falls into the www. How dumb can you be category. But hope, even if she did get a certain amount of money, let me tell you something. You're going to need it now. But they're going to throw the weight. They're going to throw their weight behind everything this woman has done, because she is an officer of the law. She did take an oath of office to uphold the law. Now she's gotten her backside in trouble. And it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. She's not been charged yet. But wait a minute, you know they're going to come back for you. The unsealing of the search warrant comes in the middle of Kelly's racketeering trial in New York on charges alleging that he was the head of a criminal enterprise in which they're going to have to prove that for decades recruited young girls and women, had them against their wills, to satisfy Kelly's illegal sexual appetites. They're going to have to prove that too. I don't care about the allegations, speculations, theories, or conspiracies. I care about what you can prove. Like they just proved up on her what she did, because they got a time log of everything. They're going to have a recording of everything. They're going to have the digital fingerprints for everything. Every electronic device has its own unique address on the inside of it that leads directly back to whatever you're doing. I mean, okay. And I know they dusted that print machine for fingerprints during the time she was doing whatever she was doing. Come on, people. Come, like, what? Hi, Flower. Like, this is out of hand. Okay. I already have witnesses on the stand, according to the women and some men that I've been posting on my community wall, who's been going note for note, getting word for word as close as they possibly can to report what everybody is saying. And these witnesses are already getting crossed up on the stand. And I'm waiting for the federal government to come with a little bit more concrete evidence. When you read when I've been listening to, when reading along, the reading of the transcripts and what they have presented and put up, because when it comes to these electronic evidence, you better come with it. Like you said, these females were here. They all had electronic devices. Well, guess what's inside of everybody's electronic device? A GSP, geographic, right? Geographic tracking, location. So prove it. But let me get back to this. Kelly, okay. Kelly is identified in the warrant only as inmate A. So we got Officer A, who is doing this, and he's identified as inmate A. Though described, naturally recognized celebrity whose criminal case has received. Okay, this is them saying whatever they're saying. Let's get to it. Okay. In an email statement Tuesday, BOP spokesperson wrote the Bureau could not comment on issues pending investigation for privacy, safety, and security reasons. And so all of that, privacy violation, safety violation, and security violation of R. Kelly's, of him as a citizen. In addition to, I don't know why the judge had him in there without bail based off some gossip, allegations, speculations, and no concrete proof, in my opinion. Because people's mouths are split both ways, and that means they can lie. And surely, let me say this and make this plain, so people don't ever need to be confused, because I've said it before. If I will not take the officer word alone as evidence when they're giving a testimony, and I say I need something to substantiate whatever claims they allege, to proof up their testimony, why in the world would I take any of the witnesses' word alone as the testimony without any concrete evidence that have been untampered with? I don't even take the police officer's word alone when they're giving testimony. Because what? People are prone and can be prone to and can what? Lie. Okay? And when you look back at the case that Johnny Cochran was in, when it pertained to a trial, one of the largest trials in the world, and we all know which one it is. He said, if you will lie in the small things, you will lie in the big things. That's the way he went at the police officers and the detectives for doing such a sloppy job on one of the largest cases him and attorney Lee Bailey were on years ago. They said it back then. We're not taking the police words as the evidence, just their testimony as the evidence. Bring us the evidence. Like, these people are up here. This is my opinion. They took these people's word as the evidence. Where's the proof? I'm a little different. Prove. Where's the evidence to corroborate? Because the word is not good enough for me in and of itself. So, Tasha K, here you go. The documents offer a glimpse into the unbridled cottage industry that has sprung up on social media since the allegations against R. Kelly imploded in 2019 with Lifetime docuseries Surviving R. Kelly. And I did not watch that because I saw one-sidedness in public announcement members, and it was other people who knew him during that time that said, why are they not including us in the docuseries? Because we can tell a different side. We're not coming with the negativity. We're coming with a different perspective. We were there as well during some of these times, and they're giving a biased one-sided story. But over here, we know we want the all sides and then the truth with the facts and the evidence to back it up and substantiate claims. Now, we're about evidence over here, right? And justice. And just prove what you said, or just proof this stuff up. All right. So that's my opinion and that's my perspective. Now, which eventually led to federal indictments in Brooklyn and Chicago, as well as other similar charges in Cook County. And everybody know my perspective of Kim Foxx based on the lack of what she did in the Kenneka Jenkins case. We already know where I am at with her, in addition to some other things that she have done, not just pertaining to or involving Kenneka Jenkins, or the lack of work thereof, okay? The lack of, and that's my perspective on that. So, since then, our Kelly supporters and detractors have devoted countless hours on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, parsing every last detail of the singer's life and every charge against him. Okay. So he became a hot topic for conversation, but here it is. I want to go down. Now I'm sentences down, but perhaps, and again, hello to everyone in the chat. Hey, lovely Shauna. Hey, Bushes. And I'm at the second paragraph. Okay, but perhaps none of the gossip mongers has been as successful as Tasha K. So whoever wrote this article, and I'll have to string back up or go to the end and see who it was, called her a gossip monger. Whose celebrity news dispatches on YouTube channel Unwind with Tasha K regularly garnering hundreds and thousands of views, presumably significant advertising dollars. The 39-year-old Atlanta-based blogger, whose real name is Latasha Kebe, often touts her videos as offering exclusive information and insight into R. Kelly's world, with interviews of key players as well as updates on allegations, including many that go far beyond even what most salacious details offered in court. No, they were extremely vulgar and lewd, to the point that one of the witnesses' testimony is some redactions going on because she was just that vulgar and lewd. Quite a few of them, from my perspective, have been lewd. if you have been following along on my community wall and listening to or watching the reading of the transcripts, which came directly from the clerk in court on those days, from the people who have been there first person during this trial, and not the news media reporting, but haven't been there first person. Some of the news media outlets, and not these other YouTubers who have been. Now, again, I've been sharing channels of people who have been there on the ground and in the courtroom. I've been sharing their information because, I believe in getting a certain amount of firsthand information from different perspectives, because the news media have been slanted one way. We know they love sensationalism. That means they don't have all the facts. And sometimes they don't have any of the facts, and they run out and report like what they're saying is the gospel truth, instead of conducting fact-finding, investigative journalism. That means you get up off your backside and you go get the information from all sides. It's the way we do, right? That's the way we have to do. Especially when you're dealing with different agencies and different entities and people who don't walk in their integrity and take these oaths of offices. You can leave nothing to chance. But Tasha K, okay, you want to be about this, or want to be about whatever, or however, and now you implied in the Rico case, as well as the officer who ran you this information. A Rico case. Okay. I'll say it again. Everything leaves a digital fingerprint. Okay. According to the warrant, the warden of Chicago MCC first reported to BOP Internal Affairs November 22nd, 2019, that Tasha K had revealed sensitive law enforcement information regarding a celebrity identified as Kelly, including information that would have been known to the BOP employees who had monitored inmate age phone calls and accessed the recording of those calls. How dumb can y'all be? Come on. Let me stop for a minute. Let me pause for a minute. I've been doing a lot of side notes here tonight. The last time I did a live, well, not the last time, but prior to the last live that I did, it was a parent running around, and I said, oh, they can possibly use this as you interfering with the federal court case. How dumb can these, what is going on? Are people so inebriated with being recognized and being some great YouTube or internet sensation that they have no good sense? And people would call it common sense, but common sense is not so common. And that's why I say good sense. That they would go through these depths and these heights to get their backsides in trouble and possibly end up in prison or jail. And with records, misdemeanor and felonies. Come on, people. When you are dealing in this system over here in the United States of America, especially as an African-American person, and it's time for your hips to hit that courtroom, it is not a reality TV show. It is not a game. It is not a joke. It is real life. But my goodness, why would you risk your reputation like this as an officer? What did it gain you? What did it net you? And to Tasha K, what? When you tend to try to attempt to take shortcuts in life, there's always repercussion. When people tend to try to take shortcuts in life and want to get there the quick and the fast way, there's always some type of repercussion. Like if you wanted this information to a certain degree, some information you would have not just been able to get because it was none of your business and you falling into privacy violations, period. Some of the information you would have been able to obtain if you would have simply just filed a Freedom of Information request and submitted it. People need to stop attempting to take all these shortcuts when accessing information. There are laws out there for you to access certain information for a reason. Use that channel. Because shortcuts cost you. And let me say it again. This is a federal case and it's a Rico case. And everything, let me say it again, and people over here know it, everything leaves a digital fingerprint. You can always be found, or your electronic device can always be traced back to where you are and to what you were doing. People, oh gosh. But is it worth it? You know, I see you, lovely Shauna, saying she wanted the inside scoop, but is it worth it? Because now you have a formal police officer, prisoner officer that's in trouble. And now you have a YouTuber or social media, whatever, influencer, whatever they call themselves, because I don't use that word, in trouble. Social media sensations. People are trying to be these social media sensations or these internet sensations, and they lack integrity. A good name is to be chosen over the richest, trying to be on top. I'd rather choose my good name and my integrity. And integrity is what you do when nobody's around and nobody else is watching. Let me say it again. Integrity is what you do when no one else is around and no one else is watching. I'd rather choose my integrity. And be ethical in what I'm doing. Okay, let me start reading the paragraph again. According to the warrant, the warden of Chicago MCC first reported to the BOP, and that's Bureau of Prisons Internal Affairs, on November 22nd, 2019, that Tasha K had revealed sensitive law enforcement information regarding the celebrity identified as Kelly, including information that would have been known to BOP employees who had monitored inmate aides, telephone calls, or accessed the recording of those calls. The warrant mentioned 3 specific videos posted by Tasha K that are all still publicly viewable on YouTube. Among them was a November 8th, 2019 video titled "Exclusive: R. Kelly Enablers Revealed." And she should have put allegedly there because he can come back and sue your little simple behinds for titles like that too. When you don't have the concrete proof and the facts to substantiate your titles, know this, you can get sued. As a matter of fact, we're going to talk about lawsuits in the next live. Domino, the election company that produced the machines, the judge said, do what you do. What is it? $100 million. What is it? Close to $1 billion lawsuit for the Trump supporters of Giuliani, the one attorney who's already in trouble in Dale, and My Pillow. The judge said, rightly so, get the defamation lawsuit on. I'm allowing it to the tune of close to $1 billion. Behind that right there, people will learn to stop playing games online. Now, I said over here, just because you don't go the extra mile, take the steps to take a person to court and pursue when they have slandered, defamed, and lied on your name, does not mean the next person won. Now, I had a attorney on here who's now a judge who said it falls short because people don't pursue when they should pursue. And titles like that can end your exclusive. New R. Kelly enablers revealed. No, alleged enablers. Where she appears to stroll down her cell phone while reading a summary of recent calls between R. Kelly and Savage that was recorded on a jail system. I got some explosive information, Tasha K says after taking a sip of white wine from a large goblet. So Rob called Jocelyn, and she was crying hysterically. She said Azriel was leaving the Trump Tower and she was not coming back. Now, I told you I got explicit plug. So all this is facts. And now they on your behind, Tasha. Now they going to be on your behind. Thank you to your admission. Thank you for your admission online in a video. And what did I say? What did I say when I talked about them parents a few days ago? What did I say? Thank you for self-incriminating. Thank you for self-incriminating. What do I often say when it comes to this social media and the internet? Don't be a dumb social media user. All right. Yeah, okay. Another video, posted December 22nd, 2019 was titled R. Kelly released email proves he cannot read or write, according to the affidavit. And this is my perspective on this too, and I'm sorry tonight, apologies tonight. I'm not sorry, apologies tonight for having all these side notes and extra commentary that I am adding to this. But as one who taught, a former educator, from my perspective, it would be interesting to see if he's dyslexic. If there's some type of reading disability or disability there, because when a person is dyslexic, they see the words differently. And in times past, I've had students, one student in particular who was dyslexic. They could tell you everything verbatim, verbally. But when it came to the way that he looked at the words would always be inverted. And the words would like move around on the pages. A lot of African-American people who I've spoken to who are dyslexic say when they look at the words move around. It's like the words are literally moving, and that's dyslexia. So that would be interesting to see. Okay, but here's her on video. According to the affidavit, the 16-minute video, which had more than 512,000 views as of Tuesday, features Tasha K reading verbatim from emails Kelly purportedly sent from jail to Savage a month earlier, including details of how He misspelled the word high as high. Okay, whatever. We use slangonomics over here in the African American community. We will change a word in a heartbeat. That's just us. I speak slangonomics. Stop playing. Quit playing. Quit playing. We'll switch up the way we spell a word in a minute. I'm not going to put it up here because it's considered somebody's private information or whatever she says, using air quotes as she looks down at her phone, but you know my word. Trust me. Okay. You're telling a bunch of people information you shouldn't be saying. Kebe could not immediately be reached for comment Tuesday, and this broke today, by the way. Chicago Tribune wrote this today. So this is like close to real-time information. This article was published today. They called her today. Another review of the officers, remember that's the female officer who was doing all this and was not even there. She should not have been accessing any of this information, and she retired in December of 2019 after she accessed all this information like they weren't going to be able to get back to her. Come on, stop this dumb stuff. Officer A logged in to the Bureaus of Prisoners internal information system, meanwhile, showed that the officer had improperly accessed R. Kelly's records 153 times between July 15, 2019, when R. Kelly first arrived at the MCC, and December 12, 2019, shortly before she retired, according to the warrant. Now, how many other officers are out here with no integrity revealing information? Because this is stupid. And now I'm wondering what, because you have information, you have his rights being violated. You just have a host of things being done, how they're going to factor this into this Rico case. And because the officer should not have done this, being a government agent at that time, how are they going to factor all of this into his current case? I will have to see. Because during that time, she was still a federal agent. The fact that she retired in December means absolutely nothing. It was done under the auspices of her being a federal agent during that time. So I wonder how they're going to factor this in. During that time, the officer also accessed and printed out R. Kelly's visitor logs and payments made into and out of his commissary account, which included names of people sending money to Kelly while he was in jail, according to the warrant. Okay, she's just a nosy little information gathering, illegal oath of office breaking something. Okay, not doing it for the sake of what they call a whistleblower, but doing it for her own selfish reasons and purposes. Almost like a malicious intent. One could say, one could interpret it that way. On November 13, 2019, the officer sent herself a 12-page scan of R. Kelly jail records from her official BOP email account to a Gmail address registered to her. How stupid can you be? Wait a minute. Just stop. Oh my goodness. Not a well thought out plan at all. Just using all your stuff. Not using a pseudo, not using anything anonymously, just downright dumb. This www. How dumb can you be? This is one of those moments. According to the warrant, among this information in the scan was a log of Kelly's emails, including some later divulged by Tasha K in her video blog. The warrant sought permission to search officers A, and this is what I wanted to know. The warrant, because warrants matter. The way the warrant is written up matters. Like if you're not including in the warrant certain things and you get to a person's property and you take that thing that was not included in a warrant, it can be refuted in court. It can be thrown out. They don't have to admit that in. Okay, so the warrant sought permissions to search officers A's desktop computer for evidence of a crime, including any internet searches of R. Kelly, as well as financial transactions or discussion of payments with Tasha K. Okay. Okay. And Jason Misuner, however he's pronouncing his last name, this is who the article is by. Attempted to, and we know Jason Van Dyke, okay, police officer who killed who murdered Devontae, who shot him 18 times. Okay, so I don't know why they brought his name up at the end of there. So again, everything leaves a digital fingerprint. Everything leaves a digital fingerprint. And I often say it, don't be a dumb social media user. You just don't be dumb with electronic devices, period. But again, YouTubers, content creators, okay? Content creators. I'm not going to call you YouTuber because everybody has a name. Your parent didn't name you YouTuber. Content creators. Move with integrity. Move with as much integrity as possible. Is it about getting the information out in an integral way? Is it about justice? Even when you label yourself entertainment, let me say it again, even when you label yourself as an entertainer, a tea channel, or a gossip, or whatever, move with some integrity. Because when you don't, it's going to come back and bite you in the butt. And I'll say it again. Electronically, you can always be tracked back to your device as well as your location. Digital forensics. It's called digital forensics for a reason. It's called computer forensics for a reason. It's called cell phone forensics for a reason. It's called network forensics for a reason. There is subnetting over the internet to distribute IP addresses for a reason. Internet protocol addresses for a reason. Yeah. The reason the tech community upgraded to Internet Protocol version 6 is for a reason. So more electronic devices can be online. But it's trackable, it's traceable. Remember, the Moorish worm, the Moorish virus was labeled in the tech community as the Moorish worm, the Moorish virus. And those computer scientists then, those professors, came up with a software program to trace the origin, let me say origin, of that worm. over the network. And it proved then that electronics could leave, even before then, electronics over the network could leave digital fingerprints. But for the officer, you already knew everything was being recorded. Just come on. You work at a prison. You already know what it is. You already know what it is. And to me, there is no amount of money you could give me to sell my integrity. You already know what it is. You already know they record. And people want to run and be on these, okay, that's your right. You can try to run and be on because somebody doing views or whatever. But what's the cost? At what cost? Okay. Y'all gonna run her money when she need to show up in court? Because now she's been indicated. She's been indicated. And everybody know over here, I just really start paying attention to this Robert Sylvester Kelly case because again, it's a Rico case. It's a Rico case. This is not, Rico cases are big in the United States of America. Usually they go along with, and trust me, I got some stuff pulled up on some pedophilias who got caught for real. Yeah, with the evidence to back that up for real. I'll say it again, with the evidence to back that up for real. People need to realize this is a big case because it's a Rico case. Not only that, usually Rico cases deal with the mafia. Usually Rico cases deal with drug lords. Usually Rico cases deal with gangs. And so it is interesting that the prosecutors in New York would put all of this underneath this case. Usually we're used to seeing different type of Rico cases. And so I've heard different attorneys say who litigate Rico cases, who trial attorneys who practice this form of law say they have never seen a case like this in their life fall underneath a Rico case. Like they've never seen a case like this ever fall underneath the Rico heading, fall underneath this type of case. They said they have never seen anything like this in their lives. And they were kind of wondering why prosecutors would put this underneath there like that. But to a degree, according to the way things are in New York and listening to them speak and doing a little bit limited of research, I can kind of see why they threw it underneath there. And are attempting to try this like this, even though when you're looking at what the defense is doing, which day one, they already, in their cross-examination, they began to create a reasonable doubt. And that's all they need to do is pick one juror and it's a wrap, right? Start picking off jurors and it's a wrap. They already began to, and like I said, the news media has not been reporting this in its entirety. They've only been reporting the prosecution side. They have not been detailed reporting the defense. They've been reporting prosecution. But during the cross-examinations, which is why I started posting people who are actually there at the trial, and what they've been coming out saying, which is both sides, prosecution side and the defense side, what's been happening during the cross. It's just going through, catching them in inconsistencies, going through, they said one thing and then here they come with a picture to show them doing something else. Then they say one thing, they can remember everything when the prosecutor is up there. Then when the defense get up there to cross-exam, according to people who have actually been in there, they've been saying it's like the witnesses, like they can't remember nothing. Then they can't remember. They don't know. They don't know what date they said nothing. They don't remember nothing. It's like, and they said one of the witnesses last week asked the judge, did she have to answer those questions? Yes, you do. You wanted to have your behinds all over. Now I'm gonna make this plain. They wanted to have their behinds all in a docu-series. They wanted to have their butts all up doing interviews. Now it's time for you to get cross-examined, and you can't remember what you said at the interviews that you conducted. Now you can't remember anything. But these were the ones doing the interviews and then docu-series, right? Now they can't remember anything. But they could remember a lot of things when they were on these news channels, on these tours, because they did a tour, but now they get in court and it's time for a cross-examination and they can't remember nothing. They didn't say that. Now all of a sudden the government lied on them. Okay, we're gonna see how this goes. This is not a reality TV show. Let me say it again, because many people get this stuff confused. This is not a reality TV show. Now you all have to be in court under oath, in a federal court at that, and have been in there, the way I'm interpreted, acting natural backsides, showing y'all natural born behinds, like it's a joke, and it's not. And so I think when it's said and done, when it's all said and done, the government gonna show you some stuff. They're gonna show you some stuff. Why people have been given immunity. And let me be clear about this. I wouldn't trust immunity coming from a prosecutor. You've been given federal immunity. What does that have to do with you being immune in your state? Absolutely nothing. And how was it written and worded? Because these people, witnesses, have committed crimes, according to people who have actually been there and have been pulling up documents, public information on these witnesses. And we know they've committed some type of crime to be given some type of immunity right off the bat from the government for their testimony. But they themselves, some of them, not all, have records and have done some things illegally themselves. But when they committed that act, it was geographically the specific state that they reside in. They said federal immunity. Okay, so at a federal level, no charges. But at the state level, they can double back and get your backsides. Your state can double back and get you, if that's not negotiated and whatever the government offered you. And I think people need to realize that. There are federal laws, there are state laws, there are local laws. So for these people, oh, I got federal immunity. You don't go to prison. You don't go to the federal, you don't go, the feds aren't going to charge you. But that has nothing to do with your state. They can come back and get y'all at a regional level. Not only that, you reside in a city, a township, or whatever, they can come back and get you at a local level and charge you all. Come on. But again, I have not seen the way these people documents have been written up and what they signed. So I don't know the depth of what it entails, but I would really like to see what they were offered. Okay, because I would have been like, fifth, bring my attorney in, plead the fifth, and let's keep this moving. I just brought an attorney to court to tell you I'm utilizing my Fifth Amendment rights. Now that we have this under oath and on record, I'm going home. Goodbye. Because I know they can still, at a regional level, charge me because I wasn't even in this state. What I did was in another state. And locally and geographically, when it comes to state law, they may double back and get some of these witnesses. It's just a lot. Again, I would have to see the way things were written up. But um, Honeybee, according to everybody who's testified and people who've been in court, there have been no 14-year-old girl. None. Not a single one. And according to cross-examinations that's being conducted and transcripts reading that are out there, what you're finding out is a lot of them lied about their age. Okay. And for people who watch the docu-series, I don't know if it was in there yet, but not only that, it was a lot of lying conducted. Not only was it a lot of lying conducted, you got witnesses who have taken a stand and said R. Kelly was unaware of a lot of things that they were doing. So again, if he's supposed to be this enterprise, if he's running this enterprise and people are doing things not at his command or not at his direction, how does this fall underneath the Rico case? And when it comes to these ages, the judge right off the bat said these were grown women during that time, and we will address them as such. So I'm not going off of the allegations, speculations, conspiracy, or theories. I have to go off of what's being presented in the court of law. Like, you can say whatever you want to say, and people have been saying whatever they want to say for years as it pertains to his life. Now they have to prove it. And so far in court, all they've proven themselves to be is liars. Telling lies left and right. And now you got to get in court. And and it's been more than one person that said when the government took their deposition before and they got in court and the cross-exam happened, that ain't what they said to the government. The government lied on them. They've been up, some of them have been in court. A few, let me say a few, because a few could be anywhere from 2 to 3, have taken a stand under oath and said the federal government lied on them when they gave their statements the first time. And usually it's a clerk in there to write. It's always usually a third party to do note taking or type. And that's not a good look. And I'll say what I've said before, and I stand by what I said before. Prosecutors had some non-credible witnesses, and there's absolutely positively no way they knew when they took the deposition from the witnesses where their credibility lied. And if they didn't, they should not be practicing law because they're not quick enough. When they were conducting their interviews and collecting their evidence or taking their statements or whatever, depositions under oath, however they did. Surely in the meeting, when they met with them prior to any of this in the office, in their offices, so wherever they met with them at, they should have been able to tell what these witnesses were about. And if you're not credible, I'm not bringing you up on the stand. Not only that, in terms of these prosecutors, but now that I'm looking at this, it's a lot of video footage out here. It's a lot of social media posts by these same witnesses. They've not been consistent, and some of them have contradicted their own selves prior to taking the stand. So my question becomes, if you are a prosecutor, why would you put a non-credible witness on the stand? Why would you put somebody on the stand that you know could possibly be flaky? right? And so what's been happening to them, and this is according to people who have been there first person, reporting this information. Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 to 6 or 7 different women that I listen to who are actually there on the ground. They said it's been like they can pass the prosecution part, but when it comes to the defense to start asking questions, they get a little shook. It's like they can't remember nothing. And it's like they get caught lying and being inconsistent. And then they want to turn around and say that they never told the government, the prosecutors, none of that. And then they walk the documents back over to them and have them read their own statement that they gave prior, setting them up to be, or their testimonies up to be impeached. That's what that setup is. Commit the witness to what they said the first time, commit them to their first statements, make them establish credibility in the first statement, and then confront that statement. Right? That's how you set a witness up when you're getting ready to impeach their statement in your closing. Right? That's what we looked at when we looked at that attorney. Break that down. Yeah. That's been happening day one. Yes, honeybee. Yes, it's again on my community wall, I post the reading of the transcripts. People who have purchased these transcripts who are there on the ground and have been there on the ground, and they're reading the transcript word for word. And it's interesting when the news media come out and say this about the prosecutors, but you can word for word, and you haven't said anything that the defense is saying. The defense have been brilliant. You got some intelligent black men up there, doing a cross-examination. He understands black culture. So while they thought they was nickel slick, which is a word we use in our community, while they thought they was nickel slick, they're getting themselves crossed up. Like I said, you can play that mess outside the court, but when you get in court, it gets real. Yeah, now it's getting real. Now you finding out people been lying. And now it's coming out in court under oath in a federal court. Let me be specific, in a federal court. So again, everything leaves a digital fingerprint. And I want to say to people, whatever you put out here online, make sure you stand by it. Because nothing ever gets deleted. I don't care how they tell you that story. Things just get archived. So let's make sure we are being vigilant and careful, and that we're not trying to cut corners to get to our destiny or wherever we need to be. Yes, it's a certain amount of grace and favor you can have, but that doesn't mean that you got to be lacking in integrity and unethical in terms of getting to where you want to be. That don't mean you have to be cutthroat to get there. Let me just use a word that everybody can understand. Don't be cutthroat to get there. Because if you're going to be cutthroat to get there with all that cutthroat ways and tactics you use, that you sow into the ground, you're going to reap. Okay? What you put in the ground comes up. So Let's just make sure that, you know, slow growth, and then Sutton, you know, steady. First the ear, first the blade, then the ear, then the full corn, right? You know, let's make sure that we are doing what we need to do. All right. So with that being said, I am going to get off here. That was the breaking news. Like I said, this article just dropped today. At what time did he publish this? Let me scroll back up and see. Oh, 3:08 p.m. And it's got to be Chicago time. And they're an hour behind me. So Central time. So there it is. Again, everybody stay vigilant. This is not what my live was going to be about today. I have a host of notes on other things. But before I get off, and I said I would end this, the live that I did a few days ago, not the one as it pertains to Devontae and the female officer who shot him, who was screaming taser, taser, taser. Not her. The one prior to that have Trump name in a title. Well, I said 8 attorneys can possibly be disbarred, but actually it's 9 now. So correcting the Trump statement is 9 pro-Trump attorneys. Sidney Powell, Leylin Wood, Emily Newman, Julie Haler, Brandon Johnson, Scott Hagerstorm, Howard Kleinhandler, Gregor Roll, and Stephanie, it looks like Junita, but that's not the way it's pronounced. It's pronounced Dantella. These are 9 attorneys who can possibly be disbarred because of conspiracy theory lawsuit that they placed pertaining to the election between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. And now they're in jeopardy, and grievance commission have received the report and the opinion of the judge that presides in the state of Michigan pertaining all 9 of them, and it deals with them being disbarred and unable to practice law in the United States of America. So correcting that. Right, Flower. With that being said, thank you all so much for streaming. You all have a pleasant evening and a pleasant night. And I will link the article in the description below. And I'm going to go ahead and update this now. Bye-bye, everybody. Thanks for streaming. Stay safe.